How's it going, y'all? We'll get started in a little bit. All right. We're going to cover information regarding your wish is your command. Gonna switch the things up a little bit. We're still going to cover information regarding digestive health, just based on what you guys are looking for on this live call. Now, I'm just getting things set up here. Give me a few minutes. Now, I'm just getting things set up here. Give me a few minutes. Hope you're all doing well, wherever you guys are coming in from. Let me know in the live chat where you guys are coming in from, how I can help. Now, we're going to cover some principles of personal development, and these are lessons that I learned from an audio set called Your Wish is Your Command. I've been listening to this audio set for a couple of years now, and I've used information to help me improve in my personal health. And I'm just going to discuss some lessons in personal development and also how I use the principles to upgrade my own personal health. If you guys are interested in that, you guys can stay on the call. Yep. Later on, I'll share with you how you can get this program completely for free. The audio is completely for free. You guys can get it on your computer. You can stream it on your phone. It's a 14 audio series. And if you want to learn the laws of manifestation, if you're interested in improving your life, you want to learn, or you align with these principles. The audio series is called Your Wish is Your Command. Right now, there's also a book version out as well, but I'm only covering what I've heard through the audio series. Now, in this audio series, they're going to have 4 main principles that they discuss. The very first one is, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? The second one is the teachability index. Teachability index. The third one is training balance scale. And the fourth lesson is 4 steps to mastery. 4 steps to mastery. And we're going to discuss them one by one. All right. These are the core lessons or principles in personal development. The very first lesson in personal development is, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? Are you listening to the right people? Currently, are you getting to your goal? Are you making progress toward your goal? And I'm sure many of you, you've taken some detours. You listen to the wrong people. And I want to break this down to you how this works. The very first principle in personal development is, who do you listen to? You must listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Notice how the word "and" is bolded and underlined. That is a conjunction. There are 2 parts to this, and both of them got to be in place. Many people, you are listening to the wrong people. That's why you're not getting to your goal, or you are doing a lot of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. As I did, I made many mistakes in my weight loss journey. I listened to the wrong people. If you've been on my previous calls, I've shared how I went to the gym in 24-hour fitness, downtown San Diego, and the trainers that were pulling up, they were even more out of shape than I was. So back in 2015, over here, it's 10 years ago, I was out of shape. And it's 2019, I made a lot of changes, not just with nutrition, not just with working out, because those are only get you some temporary results. I had to dig a lot deeper. I had to learn a lot about my digestive system, on and on and on. But today we're going to focus on your wish is your command, and based on your feedback in the live chat, I don't know where you guys are coming in from, I can discuss a little bit more about my personal health history and journey, and that's how I overcame. Over here, you can also say in a different way. Who do you listen to? You listen to people who have what you want and happen where you are now. If you're working with a personal trainer right now and this person is out of shape, I don't care how many certificates that they have. Maybe they went through school for this. Maybe they have a lot of clients. It's going to be very tough for you to get six-pack abs, or it's going to be very tough for you to lose weight, because the person you listen to, they don't even have the results. They don't know how to get to it. But they have a weekend certificate that they took from personal training, or for personal training, something that they took online. Maybe they got an online certificate, and now they're just getting clients, right? The bar to become a personal trainer is not exactly high. The next lesson in personal development is the teachability index. The teachability index. I want to share with you what this is all about. First part, there are two components to this as well. The very first part is, what is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? And you have to quantify this yourself. The second part is, what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score between 1 to 10. Many people, they say things like, oh, I'm very, very teachable. Well, how do you quantify it? I'm going to share with you how that is done. Very first part, you want to identify your favorite activity right now. I don't care what that is. What is your favorite activity outside of work? For many, it's some form of entertainment. Come back home, watch Netflix, watching sports, playing video games, heading out to the clubs on the weekends, going to the bar. That's what they look forward to. If you want to demonstrate a high willingness to learn, you must set aside your favorite activity. That favorite activity that you love to do. Maybe you're watching a particular series right now and you're really into it, but you're going to stop doing that because you had this chunks of time, and you're replacing that with learning opportunities. And this could be in the areas of podcasts, you're reading books, you're attending conferences in person, or you are going to online classes, or you're taking online classes. And that's how you can give yourself a score between 1 to 10. There are 30 days in a month roughly, and how many of those days are you replacing your favorite activity with some form of learning? Maybe you're going a direction with your personal health, and that's what you lock in on that. Or you're locked in on improving your finances, so you're locked in on that. So you're very, very specific about what genre of information that you're consuming to improve that one specific area. The next part of the teachability index is, what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score between 1 to 10. Many people, they do have the information. They have a lot of podcasts downloaded. They do have a library shelf full of books. They are attending conferences, or they are taking online classes. But unfortunately, their willingness to accept change is very low. Just having information sitting down there in your downloads folder is not going to change your life. Or having them on the bookshelf, or having a whole bunch of DVD exercise instructional videos on your bookshelf. You actually have to do these things. You have to do the exercises. And that's what's going to change your life. And you have to do that very, very consistently. If you don't do those things consistently, your life is not going to move in the right direction. Now, the very first lesson, I spoke about the importance of you listening to the right people. Me, I teach health. This is something that I continue to improve my own personal health. And I've had a six-pack abs over the last 4 years, no weight loss rebound. And I continue to improve in this area of my life. And if I'm out of shape, you guys can swipe away to another video, right? You should not be listening to somebody who cannot demonstrate the results that you're seeking. The second part, this is all on you as well, the teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? Do you have that appetite to learn? You're replacing your favorite activity, and you're using that time to listen to podcasts, reading books, attending conferences in person, or you are taking online classes and you're very, very intentional and disciplined and going all the way through. Say many people, they buy a course online, but they don't go through all the videos. They don't take any notes. Next part, they don't even apply it. Because the next part is what is your willingness to accept change? Give yourself a score. The teachability index is the multiplication of your willingness to learn, multiplied by your willingness to accept change. And you have to see this number and you look at yourself and be like, hey, if I'm not moving in the right direction, I always have to come back to these basic lessons. Let me know where you guys are from, how I can help, right? I like to go over some principles of personal development. Also, normally I talk a lot about health. I talk about digestive health, how I improve my digestive health, how I cleaned out this whole pipe work comprehensively. And that's how I achieve vibrant health through and through. Of course, that is just the broad strokes. I went a lot deeper. I've been detoxing since 2019. Been on this health journey, and it's been a wonderful experience. But I use these principles of personal development outlined in your Wish is Your Command. Who do you listen to? Teachability index, training balance scale, 4 steps to mastery. So the first one is, who do you listen to? The second one, we just discussed, the teachability index. The third one is called the training balance scale. I'm going to do my best to explain this. And this is the reason why you guys want to get the free audio series with this, because Kevin can do a lot better than I can, for sure. And I want to share with you real quick how you can get it for free. So what you want to do, you want to tap on the link. The link is also made available right under my descriptions. So once you tap on that link, it's going to take you to this page. Now, if you don't want to read through this whole sales page, that's perfectly fine. You can just tap buy now. Tap in buy now. This is what you're going to do. I'm going to help you guys. So what you guys can do, you want to just scroll down a little bit on this page and you want to type in the coupon code. You can use all caps or lowercase. It's YWIYC. It's the initials for your Wish is Your Command. YWIYC. Once you hit apply, you can see that you're saving yourself $500 just using this coupon code. Then you're going to go back on top, fill out your contact, billing, payment information, all that stuff. And it's not going to charge you anything. The only way it's going to charge if you decide to get the hardcover edition of this book, Your Wish is Your Command. Notice how the quantity here is set to 0. So if you want to pay for this book, you just tap this and you just click this to quantity of 1 or how many copies you want to get. And they'll be able to ship this book right out to you. If you're just trying to get the DVD audio set completely for free, all you have to do is enter in the coupon code YWIYC. Come back on top, fill out your email, billing, payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. And complete your order. That's it. Later on, you want to be checking out your email. If it's not in your inbox, it may be in the spam folder. And what you want to do, you want to redrag that email back into your inbox. Tap on it. And right there and then, you just make a few clicks. And all the audios will be made available for you online. You just go through their 14 audio, I would say, audio files, and you just stream them through your phone or computer. And if you know how to work a few things, if you have Downy or different software programs, you can also download them on your computer. Yeah, so that's up to y'all. So next we're going to talk about the training balance scale. The training balance scale is the third lesson in Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. So think of a scale that tilts back and forth. On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel. This has a lot to do with the laws of manifestation, how you manifest things in your life. Now, this gets a little bit more on the spiritual side. It's not as practical as the first two. On one side of the scale, you're focused on how you think and how you feel. But what is your why? Your dreams, goals, attitude, mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation. On the other side of the training balance scale are the how action, the specific techniques, strategies, the action steps, plans and activities, and physical actions. Now, in the world of personal development, most coaches will tell you the reason why you're not achieving the things that you want in your life is because you're missing the action steps. You don't know the specific techniques. You don't know the right strategies. So you're always on that hamster wheel, chasing the next course, going to the next conference. You're chasing the how to. And many people, they can spend their entire life chasing the next strategy, but they're getting nowhere. The training balance scale, the way how Kevin explains, is that this side of the training balance scale, where you think about how you think and how you feel, is a lot more important than the specific techniques. How you think and how you feel all the time, okay? And you're rehearsing this positive mental attitude, you're rehearsing your desired outcome. Because how you're going to get there is a little bit different for everybody. For example, let's just say I want a six-pack abs, right? And for the longest time, I continued to visualize six-pack abs, even though I didn't have six-pack abs. And that's part of the game. It's very, very challenging at times, but you got to keep that hope alive within yourself. You got to keep that light lit within yourself. It's like, you know what? Right now, the things that I'm doing is not working. Maybe I'm tracking my calories. Maybe I'm going to the gym. I got a personal trainer. I got the workout sheets. I'm doing the reps. I'm doing the sets. I am making a little bit of progress in the short term. It seems like I'm losing 5 to 6 pounds. But for whatever reason, I gain back 8 or 9, or I lose 10 pounds and I gain back 12. Have you guys been in that situation before where you continue to weight loss rebound and you try to put on your jeans in the evening, trying to head out to the bar with your friends, and you're like, what is going on? My jeans are getting tighter and tighter around my mid waist, and you have this muffin top overflowing. And you try to convince yourself, maybe my jeans, they shrunk because I left them in the dryer too long. The training balance skill requires you to think about the positive in a very, very, light-hearted way, okay? Not trying to grasp it with very, very tight fists, but you're like, I'm trying to get six-pack abs, and you're visualizing yourself with six-pack abs, and then you're looking at visualizing how people perceive you, how people, they'll come up to you, maybe you bounce into an old friend, and they're commenting on your physique, and they're just shocked by, yo, how did you get that done? Because I don't know about you, as people age, once you get into your late 20s, things get to change a lot. Once you get into your 30s, y'all, things really start to spiral out of control, okay? And when you get into your 40s, listen, most people have already given up when it comes to personal health. They've just got to let it go. They just let it go. They don't care. And if you don't want that, you have to keep that image within yourself of how you think and how you feel. What are your dreams, your goals, and attitudes surrounding that picture? Because it's not just about rehearsing positive affirmations. It's about replaying this picture again and again within yourself, along with, a positive emotions. That's how I got it done over time, because it wasn't an overnight process. So from 2015 to 2019, my health continued to deteriorate. I tried everything. I really did. And my health continued to deteriorate. It wasn't until 2019 I looked into detoxing my body, detoxing my internal organs, because my nutrition was already in place, but they only helped a little bit. And I knew my workout was definitely in place. I was going to the gym probably 3, 4, 5 times a week, but I wasn't getting lasting results. And since 2019, I found a method that cleans out both the small and large intestines. And over time, I also learned how we can eliminate internal parasites from our body. We also can release gallstones out of the gallbladder, intrahepatic stones out of the liver, get the congestion out of the kidneys. And you can see, my path may be different than yours, but I kept the hope alive. And when it comes to importance, right now you're thinking, oh, it seems like these action steps that John explaining super important. But that's these action steps that I took. It doesn't mean you're going to be taking those action steps. And you want to always, let's just say it was weight loss. That's just about getting six-pack abs, maybe feeling vibrantly healthy, right? And then you are visualizing maybe your friends from high school. You might bounce into them at your grocery store, and they're like, what the hell, you haven't changed since high school at all. You're so skinny as a rail, still looking good, got six-pack abs. Or people are gonna be jealous if you still have hair. That's how it is. And you want to be playing that over and over again in your mind. And as you do that, you can call it the field, you can call it the law of attraction, you can call it the laws of manifestation. You will be presented with ideas, opportunities, people, circumstances, books, audios, podcasts, present to you information that can change the trajectory of your life. Most people, they don't have that opportunity because they're rehearsing what is not going right. For example, many people, they are already in a hole physically, right? Their life, health is spiraling out of control. And as a result, even their mental health is affected by their physical health. At all times, they are thinking about the discomfort. Maybe it's nasal congestion. Maybe it's they got joint discomfort. When they were young, they could play all the instruments, play the bass guitar, play the piano. Right now, they cannot even do it without corticosteroids, prednisone, immunosuppressants, and that's dragging them down. Or they're taking some type of antihistamine, but now they have drowsiness throughout the whole day. I was experiencing many of those combinations. I had the nasal congestion. I also had joint discomfort. I also had restless feet syndrome. Restless feet syndrome is a mess. You can't even sleep properly because your feet, they begin to move all on their own when they're possessed. And when you are rehearsing what isn't going right in your life, you're actually broadcasting out to the universe, oh, this is what I want more of. This negative stuff that I'm experiencing right now. And the universe will deliver you with more negative people, events, situations, circumstances that is coherent with your dominant vibration. That's how it works. And it takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of consistency. It takes observing your thoughts right now. Right now, my time, my attention, and my focus on things that are going right or things that are not going right. Some people, they are so trained in the negative or so trained in seeing the negative. Even if you tell them something that is positive, they can't see it as positive. There's always a negative bent. Some people, they keep on doom scrolling on social media because it reinforces the negative ball of energy. And which one are you right now? The training balance scale explains how you think and how you feel is more important than the specific techniques, the strategies, the action steps. But right now, there is something that is very dominant within your vibration. Throughout the day, you can take an inventory of your thoughts. Are you focused on the positive or thinking about a bright future that you're walking toward? You're pushing forward? Or is it always around people, events, situations that are not going right or not going in your favor? And that becomes its own energy, right? So it takes time, persistence to really observe your thoughts. That you observe. Also, there are many things that you can do. For example, cleaning out your environment. Maybe there's certain people you have to block on social media. Maybe you got to do some type of social media detox to distance yourself away, because the world, they always want to trap you. They know how powerful you are. How you think and how you feel, if you are locked in on your goals and locked in on your dream, and then you are you're observing and also experiencing your dreams with a soft gaze, not like I need to make this happen, right? Then things start to move in your direction, but you gotta hold it throughout the whole day. It's not just something you do for a short period and then you're going right back to thinking all the negative stuff that is happening, thinking about your coworkers, thinking about maybe there's something that is wrong in the house with the HVAC, and then maybe there's a repair you got to take care of for your car. I'm not saying those things are important, but if you make that the dominant thing, then the universe is going to present more of those opportunities for you to feel in that particular state. I don't know if that's making sense for y'all. So let me know in the live chat where you guys are from, what you guys want to discuss. We're talking about your wishes, your command. This is an audio CD. Well, right now it's downloadable. You guys can get it from completely for free. And I explain how you guys can get it completely for free. And I'll do it again a little bit. And my name is John. Over the years, I've taken the lessons outlined in this audio series. I listen to that again and again and again because, first of all, ESL over here, English is not my first language, but I miss many things the first couple times through. Every single time you listen to this audio set, you will learn something. It's really true. It's truly remarkable. And over the years, I always come back to these basic lessons. If my life is not moving in the right direction, number one, am I listening to the right people? I gotta listen to people who have been where I am and where I want to be. Conjunction with the word and. Okay? If you are listening to people giving you marriage advice, but they've been divorced and they're on the verge of another divorce, maybe these are not the right people. Or people trying to tell you finances, but they're broke. It's not going to work out. But there are many people that always want to dish out advice. I watch a lot of one-on-one basketball on YouTube. I watch Next Chapter, Ball is Life, a lot of interesting channels that are out there. And what I found is, there are a lot of people on the sidelines, a lot of armchair quarterbacks, where people just yapping. And this one guy's like, he doesn't play basketball, but for some reason he cannot. He is not in shape. I have never seen this guy play basketball, but he's real vocal, telling the players what they should be doing, and there's just a lot of lip. And these are the type of people. They're very, very convincing, right? There are people, that's what they do best. They're very good at convincing people, but they can't even play basketball. And that's what we got for a lot of our education system, right? People teaching you, coaching you business, but they haven't ran a business themselves. They haven't done anything entrepreneurial, but they can go through a college syllabus real good. You guys know what I'm talking about? So there's so many levels to this. Maybe right now you're listening to this presentation. Maybe you got to do an overhaul, right? And there's so many books that are out there, but have these authors really achieved those desired results themselves? Or they're just very good at selling you books. And Kevin talks a lot about this as well, through his audio series. You guys want to check him out, so you can really give you guys the specific details on your wishes, your command. Second part is the teachability index. If you don't have that willingness to learn, you don't have that willingness to accept change. I don't know how is it. So I'm going to teach you how you can quantify this. Let's just say there are 30 days in a month. Every single day is an opportunity, right? So let's just say for 10 days out of 30, you're setting aside your PlayStation, your favorite activity, and using that time to do some type of learning. So 10 out of 30, that is 33%. So you can give yourself a score 3 out of 10 with your willingness to learn. That's how you can quantify this number. The next part is, what is your willingness to accept change? Let's just say for 10 days out of 30, you are doing the exercises, right? Let's just say you do have a workout regimen, that's what you decided to do, and you can give yourself a score of 3 out of 10. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? You can have a full score of 100. Because teachability index is the multiplication of your willingness to learn multiplied by your willingness to accept change. If you have a 10 out of 10 with your willingness to learn multiplied by a 10 out of 10 with your willingness to accept change, that's a full score of 100. But if you're just haphazardly, you're just nonchalant, only doing it a couple of days out of the month, don't expect your life to change. Next, you gotta stay locked in with your emotions, your attitudes, your mental processes, because if you truly want to manifest your dreams, it has a lot to do with about how you think and how you feel. And in that positive state, the feel is going to present you with people, events, opportunities, circumstances that's going to be the right fit for you. Let's just say people are trying to lose weight. The way how I did it may be different than how you're going to do it. I was so desperate for answers because I've already tried so many different nutrition plans, so many different supplements. Like in the last decade, I have sold so many health supplements. It is ridiculous for other companies. And I'm just telling y'all, many of those supplements, they're detours. They're absolute detours. People that even sell supplements, they're not healthy themselves. But that's the only thing that I knew back then. I thought there's always some type of a deficiency, right? They tell you, you must be missing this mineral. You must be missing this vitamin. That's why you got to stack your kitchen cupboards full of supplements. How about we learn about the digestive system, and if you cannot perform certain key performance indicators, such as going to the bathroom every single day, you're going to be in trouble. Doesn't matter how many supplements you shove down your throat. You want to see your health, see your body in a completely different light. And that's what I've been doing since 2019. And I'm still on the journey. I'm very grateful for this journey because the trajectory of my health has only gone up and up and up over the years. Now I'm going to talk about the 4th lesson in Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. It's called 4 Steps to Learning. There are 4 steps to learning, and we go through these steps anytime we're learning something new, or we continue to learn something that we know in a deeper way. We all begin at a place of unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. I'm going to give a very simple example. When you first start learning how to ride a bike, you don't know what you don't know because you've never been on a bike before. You don't know how to balance that bike. Maybe you have to start with training wheels. And over time, you practice at it. You develop something called conscious incompetence. You know that you don't know something. Maybe you're watching your neighborhood kids and they are locked in. Maybe they're popping wheelies or doing all these tricks. And you're like, man, I'm just struggling on here with this tricycle. It's absolutely ridiculous. But there is a big gap between where you are now versus the neighborhood kids who were much older than you. Over time, you keep getting back on that bike, on that tricycle, and now the training wheels are coming off. You know how to balance on that bicycle. conscious competence kicks in, and you say to yourself, you know what, I don't know everything, but at least I know something. I know how to put the pedals just right. Maybe I have to lean my bike against the wall just to get it balanced, jump on that bike. And over time, you're going to develop unconscious competence. You don't even have to think. You get a call from your neighbor. They said, we're going to go jump on our bikes, do this and then the third. And you just jump on that bike. Success is automatic. Same thing when you're trying to tie your shoes. I still remember the first time I tried to tie my shoes. It was the most frustrating experience. I'm like, I gotta do what? Because prior to that, I had shoes with a bunch of Velcros in it, right? All you had to do is just slap on the Velcros and you were done. But as you get bigger, then now, or you're trying to learn how to use chopsticks. Man, you think that Asians, we just pop out of the womb with a pair of chopsticks? Brother, please. It's very, very frustrating to learn how to use chopsticks, even as Asians. You gotta go through unconscious incompetence. You gotta go through conscious incompetence. You gotta go through conscious competence and finally get to unconscious competence. See, I was training my friends when I was in high school. I had these friends from Europe. One of them was from Russia, and the other one was from Ukraine. And they didn't grow up with chopsticks. They don't know how to use them. But I was very, very surprised. I taught them how to use it. We used to go to these Chinese restaurants. I took them to the Chinatown in Philadelphia. There are many restaurants there. And I just told them, this is exactly what you do. You want to set up the very first chopstick in this, and this one is stationary. You're not moving it. And then with the other one, a lot of people, even Asians, they're not using chopsticks correctly, or they're using them in a very inefficient manner. Their arms are all twisted up and crooked. I mean, their parents did not teach them right. So if you're going to teach somebody, first of all, you want to do it right, or don't teach. And when it comes to your personal health, I had to go through these stages as well. It wasn't just like, oh, automatically I knew about the digestive system and how it works and how I can clean it out. It's going to be time that I spend picking up books on human physiology, reading through a lot of online content, maybe talking to my friends who are in medicine. And these are books that you can find completely for free at your local library, or find them online for free at archive.org. There are entire volumes and volumes of books on human physiology. You can read them, and it's not going to change that much from edition to edition, right? Because when it comes to different body parts on the inside, we're all the same. And when it comes to the digestive system, we're categorically the same. Tupac wrote a song years ago called Changes. He says, we got to start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother to the two distant strangers. And over here, you're going to go through that process. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to lock in. I'm going to do these different steps. I got to listen to the right people, do my best to find the right people. And over time, I'm going to stay locked in on a few. They've been where I was, and now on the other side of things. Maybe they were completely obese, but now they have a six-pack, right? Or maybe they were slightly overweight, just basically where you are right now, right? But now, because of their set of experiences and things that they did, now they overcame all those struggles. Like before, I used to be on different OTC medication, antihistamine. No more. I haven't taken them for years and years and years. And I had to go through this process. I got to listen to the right people. I got to remain teachable, increasing my willingness to learn. Okay, setting aside my favorite activity. And back then, it was probably watching sports. I do enjoy watching sports or watching cartoons. Yet I had a lot of, activities, or sometimes they weren't bad activities. They just weren't serving me. Next, once I learned information, let's just say it's information regarding detox and trying to better my health, there comes a time where I had to do the detox protocols myself. I had to do them very, very consistently because that's the part about your willingness to accept change. Many people out there, they just say things, yeah, I'm very teachable. They're just saying things. When it comes to what they have on their calendar, there are no workouts, there's no learning, there's no implementation. Life's not moving in the right direction. Training balance skill, this has a lot to do with how you think and how you feel. And most coaches, courses, they focus on this a lot because they always tell you, oh, it's all about the positive mental attitude. You got to visualize your desired outcome. You got to get yourself another crystal, do some tarot, all that stuff. I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm just saying, let's just say you visualize all you want, right? You are overweight right now. You're visualizing it, but you haven't combined it with your teachability index. You don't really learn anything practical you can do to start to reverse that obesity. Maybe you do learn. You do have a library full of books. Maybe you do have DVD sets from P90X with Tony Horton. Remember that guy? And then a couple years later, they had Insanity with Shaun T. I used to watch all these commercials or Leslie Mills Body Combat. There was a time I was doing P90X. I was following through on that DVD set. So very, very helpful. Thanks, Tony Horton. But many people, they got the DVD set, but it only provides them with a sense of comfort. It's like, at least I did something today. I bought a course, and that course is sitting on the shelf. And maybe once in a while, I pop in that DVD set. I'm watching Tony Horton doing the shoulder process. You know, he has so many different. He's like one specific for shoulders, one specific for legs, and he got another one for yoga. Yeah, his yoga is intense, y'all. Many people, how many of you done P90X? You know, the very first part where they warm up. You're like, what? This is the warm up? Yo. And then you gotta dig deep, you know, Tony. And that's implementation. But many people, I'm sure they're watching Tony Horn, but they're eating potato chips up on the couch. They do not care. You know, their willingness to accept change is an absolute zero. Some people, they may have a 10 out of 10 with their willingness to learn. They got all the books, they got all the audio CDs, they attend the conferences, they got conference warriors, but they have a 0 out of 10 with their willingness to accept change. So when you multiply a 10, multiply by 0, you still get a 0 with your teachability index. Next is the training balance scale, how you think and how you feel. And of course, you got the 4 steps to learning. You always go from a place of unconscious incompetence. And this is where you have to dig deep in. Very, very, I would say, you got to dig deep with this as well, because there's so much information I don't know that I'll never know. But instead of just going with this mindset of, oh, what most people do, they latch on to particular keywords. They don't want to feel stupid. They don't want to feel stupid, so what they do is, oh, I heard something like this before, right? And then they kind of just put a blanket over it and be like, oh, there's nothing more for me to learn regarding this topic. That is not the way to go. When you are going through the 4 steps to learning, there are going to come a time where you're going to be knocked back to square one. You're going to go all the way back and be like, man, there's so much stuff regarding this topic. Now I learned something new. Now it's a completely different ball game. And you have to keep on playing the game. It'll be like, you know what? Maybe things that I learned was incomplete. And I have to course correct or make adjustments or do things differently moving forward, right? To make adjustments along the way. I made many adjustments through this For example, when I started doing this detox protocol years ago, there was a specific set of proportions that I tried many different proportions. There was different temperatures that I tried, but there was also timing that was involved. There's also how you drink this down over time. All these things matter, every last one of them. If you desire to blast out all the waste material from both the small and large intestines. So based on your feedback in the live chat, let me know where you guys are from, what you guys want to discuss. Once again, I want you guys to pick up this free audio course. It's called Your Wish is Your Command. And all you have to do is tap on the link. The link is also made available in my descriptions. If you check out my descriptions, the second link, if you click on it, it'll take you to the page. And from here, you're tapping buy now. Tapping buy now, you want to use the coupon code. You want to scroll down a little bit. And from here, you're typing in YWIYC. You can use all caps or lowercase, doesn't matter. You tap apply. You can see you're saving yourself $500. Come back on top, fill out your email, billing, contact information, put in your credit card information. It's not going to charge you anything. And if you decide to get the physical hard copy of this book, Your Wish is Your Command, you want to scroll down and tap the quantity of 1, right? So once you tap on 1, you can see now you're going to pay for this book at $39.95. If you do not want to get the physical book, you just click the minus. You click the minus, and now the sum, the total, will just be 0. And just complete your order. Check your inbox a little bit. It's not going to charge you anything if it says 0. They just want to find people who are actually serious about this protocol, about this program. Because you got to commit to it. I mean, it's a lot of audios. It's going to be more than 14 hours of content. Me today, I just provide the broad strokes. Who do you listen to? Teachability index, training balance scale, 4 steps to learning. And there's no way I can explain this better than Kevin. But he's the master at this. And I'm sure many of you seen Kevin at some point on TV in the 80s and 90s. He was an infomercial king. He had a memory program. He also had other programs that he helped partner. So there was a Mega Memory, Howard Berg. He also partnered with him on that as well. I mean, he's this ultra successful person. He knows all successful people. And this is what they talk about. This is how they coach their young kids. They always come back to these basic lessons. If their life is not moving in the right direction, this isn't part of their blueprint, because right from the get-go, they teach their kids, are you listening to the right people? Are you being teachable? Do you have a willingness to learn? Not just learning is not enough. Do you have that willingness to accept change? And you come back to these basic lessons again and again and again. Never think that you're a finished product. People think that rich people are cocky. They're not. They're some of the most teachable. Maybe from time to time, you may see them very flamboyant, out there showcasing their thing. But they're always reading. They're always studying. There was a book that I wrote, that I read from Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you just read that book, cover to cover, you will see his dedication. You're not going to come out in the middle of nowhere in Austria, go to the United States, become bodybuilding champ. After that, you're going to get into the movies. After that, become the governor in California. And all that without being teachable. And he was always reading books. He was talking to mentors. Then he got into real estate at an early in his bodybuilding. When he was doing bodybuilding, he also got into real estate in California. He is well taken care of. And then he bounced into people who were experienced in that field. Realtors, right? And I'm just saying life can be like that. if we continue to keep the ball moving, keep the ball rolling, right? And don't get discouraged when something isn't working. I could have gotten discouraged. I could have been like, you know what? I don't want to be doing this no more. And then I could have been a lot of my friends. See, I'm not a young guy anymore. I'm in my 40s now. And most of my friends in their 40s, they look horrible. They look absolutely horrible. They don't really take good care of their health, even though they think that they do. Okay, in their minds. All I have to do is open up their fridge and be like, this is laughable. Because where I'm at now, maybe before years ago, I was kind of like in their mentality as well. I ate a lot of the same foods. There was a time I used to buy a lot of frozen foods because they were convenient, they were fast. It could be Stouffer's, it could be Lean Pockets, Hot Pockets, DiGiorno's frozen pizza, all that garbage from last Nestle. You guys understand? I don't buy that trash for over half a decade now. All right, these are decisions that I have to make. And previously, I also mentioned about a lot of you don't even know anything about internal parasites. Once again, that's going to tap into your learning, your unconscious incompetence. Maybe you're completely unconscious incompetent about certain topics. But instead of just rolling your eyes over a topic, maybe you should look into it. Maybe you should pick up a book on parasitology, go to your local library, lock in, because maybe you are dealing with a parasite infestation you have no idea about, and they're causing all sorts of health problems. So before I talk anymore, I would love to just hear from y'all. Where are you guys coming in from? I know one of you has been on this call for quite some time, and there is a live chat option. This is not a pre-recorded call, first of all. I know people that are broadcasting on YouTube, but some of them, they're using a pre-recorded video and they're just rebroadcasting with some software. There's software called OBS. How many of you use OBS? And it's a very, very capable software. You guys understand? And it's much interactive. I can share with y'all and talk with y'all on what you're going through, right? What do you guys want to learn? Do you want me to talk more about personal development principles, or do you want me to dive deep into natural health, into detox protocols? I'm going to take a short break. Hopefully you guys will still be here when I come back. Yeah, I'm going to take a short break, but I'll be back. All right, just give me a few minutes here. All right, now I'm going to step into the main portion of my presentation regarding digestive health. And previously, we are talking about these principles of personal development. Who do you listen to? Teachability index, training balance skill, 4 steps. And I'm still on the journey. And I just want to share with you the things that I've done over the years that helped me achieve getting 6-pack abs. Now in my 40s, I was not able to achieve them really in my 20s, was not able to achieve them even in my 30s. But now in my 40s, I have them all the time. And it's not about me trying to do a lot of crazy workouts at the gym. It's not like that. In fact, my program is called the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge. Lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym. I haven't gone to the gym for at least, I would say, over 5 years. Easy. And a lot of you all don't believe me. I really don't care. All I'm saying is, if you start to clean your body from the inside, your organs, they begin to reboot itself back up. Your metabolism goes back up. I'm not saying I'm lazy, I don't exercise. I do a lot of walks. I do have some very lightweight exercise equipment at home. So I go high reps. I don't try to do low rep stuff. So when you do get yourself into a sweat just from walking, doing some light jog, no heavy impact, come back home, get some light exercise, got the mat, you're gonna do very well for yourself. Because I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, you know, I want to be like super lean, athletic, and that's the build that I want. Like, you want to be specific about what you're looking for when you're trying to better your health. Like, what is the build that you're trying to build, right? Because some people, it's all about muscle, muscle, muscle. Your body's gonna tighten up a lot from doing that. Now, just share a little bit of my background. I used to be involved in medical software. So this is me back in North Carolina. In this photo, I was around 21, not even 22. Yep. So in this photo, I was around, you can look at the size of the monitor. And this particular experience taught me so much about how the system works. All right. So the company that I was a part of was called Therapy Edge. You guys can go on archive.org. There's a Wayback Machine. You can type in therapyedge.com and you'll find this website. And if you really want to do your research, you'll be able to find people who invested in this company. They were extremely famous people in Research Triangle Park, like back in the 80s and 90s. Anyway, for me to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, I had to stay locked in on the human digestive system. Because you all have the same digestive system. It's all about how do you optimize it? How do you clean it out? How do you reset it? And that's what I've been focused on the last half a decade plus regarding this. So in 2019, I started doing this protocol that cleans out both the small and large intestines. Now, there's a lot of intricate things I'll be detailing out in this presentation, but I want to give you guys the basics, and it's important for you to go and confirm this information for yourself. Not a doctor, not a medical professional. Always seek the advice of your physician, other qualified health providers with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. Your digestive enzymes and acids, they break down the food. Over time, food enters your small intestines next for nutrient absorption. This is the 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet, followed by your large intestines, another 1.5 meters in length, another 5 feet, and out the back for elimination. And right now, as I'm saying this stuff to you, a lot of people, they just tap out. There's this like, I don't know anything about this. And then they just swipe away to another video because it makes them uncomfortable when they're dealing with something that they're unconscious, incompetent about. But we all start from that place, right? You didn't start learning. You didn't just come out of your mother's womb riding a bicycle, tying your pair of shoes, using chopsticks, writing, nothing like that. And this stuff you can learn. They want to occult this information away from you. They always want to complicate this because there is a lot of money when you are sick. See, back then when I was in this field, I was taught that it's all about the money. It's always been about the money. It's always about maximizing lifetime customer value. It's about disease management. Money is in disease management through and through. If you guys don't believe me, go talk to real medical professionals that speak the truth, who speak the truth. So you all have this pipe work, and I'm going to simplify it even further over here. This is a simplified illustration, the alimentary canal. And you all have this. Once again, food enters your mouth down the esophagus into your stomach. Your digestive enzymes and acids, they break down the food. Over time, food enters your small intestines next for nutrient absorption to 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet, followed by your large intestines, another 1.5 meters in length, another 5 feet, and out the back for elimination. What you ingest through your mouth must exit out the back as waste elimination. I know this sounds way too simple, but many people there are not getting this done. Now I'm going to show you some very disturbing photos, and you guys can go and confirm this for yourself. A lot of people don't know anything about this, but there are many Instagram pages now, and they're working with cadavers, basically human bodies, and they do it for scientific studies. And they remove this whole thing so you guys can see it. This is a very long piece of pipework. You can see this is your stomach right here. Next, you have your small intestines. Next, you have your large intestines, feces formation, and out the back for elimination. How long was this pipework? Is 20 feet, roughly 6 meters. So if you stretch it all out, from that floor to the basketball rim, it's 10 feet off the floor. The combined length of your small and large intestines is equal to 2 of them. So floor to the basketball rim, 10 feet, and you stack another NBA hoop on top. That combined height, that 20 feet, is the length of your small and large intestines. From the beginning, right there, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, all the way to the very end. Now, in modern society, many people, they're chronically constipated. Constipation simply means that you're not going to the bathroom consistently every single day, multiple times a day. Many people, they neglect the early signs of early chronic constipation. They could be going every 2 to 3 days, and they don't think it's a big deal. And there are YouTubers that talk about this. I know this one guy in Asia, he doesn't even go to the bathroom 4 to 5 days. And they say things like, oh, this is how my body works. You're going to find out, because if you cannot eliminate this waste material, it is going to cause many, many health problems. You only have one pipe. What you ingest through your mouth must exit out the back. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to be like magic. Waste material is not going to disappear into the ether. It doesn't work like that. You got to do everything that you can to eliminate this waste material in the safest way possible, under the guidance of your doctor, naturopathic doctor, holistic care. And there's so many things that are involved that I'll be discussing today that could be off your radar screen. And that's perfectly okay. It's important for you to stay locked in and increase your teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? Not just taking my word for it. You're going to go confirm this information for yourself. But after you learn something, what is your willingness to accept change? What do you need to change? Maybe you got to follow through on a detox protocol and not just doing it as a hobby, but you're going to incorporate on a weekly basis. Maybe some of you got to change your nutrition You know the foods that you're doing right now or eating right now, they're not serving you. They're very harmful for you. Maybe some of you got to get into some regular exercise, but I don't know where your starting point's going to be. Somebody, they're severely overweight, 250, 300. They can't be doing high intensity cardio. Maybe their first place to go will be going at a swimming pool, just doing exercises in the swimming pool. That's where their starting point is going to be at. You have to find where your starting point would be, so you don't end up in a much worse situation than you're in now. Now, how do I know chronic constipation is a worldwide problem? I already did the keyword analysis. When you're doing keyword analysis, what this means, when people go on search engines, what are people typing in every single day? And there is a search volume for those keywords. Those are very important data points for an internet marketer, because an internet marketer, we're trying to find massive markets to market to. Based on that keyword volume, we know if that market is expanding or contracting. And every single day, people are going on search engines. Could be Google, Bing, Yahoo, Baidu, Yandex, AOL, DuckDuckGo. People are typing in chronic constipation. Or maybe they say things like, I haven't gone a couple days in a row. What do? I need a laxative. The last one that I used stopped working. And people are typing in chronic constipation, not just in the English language, but in many, many languages around the world. French, Spanish, Italian, German, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, Russian, Turkish, Dutch, Arabic, Polish, Swedish, Danish, Vietnamese, Finnish, Norwegian, Indonesian. When your elimination is incomplete, the residues of all feces, they're just building up in layers and layers on the walls of your colon. As they putrefy, they will cause you health problems, pain, and discomfort. What is putrefy? Decay and rot. Suppurate, or you can use the word fester. Think about Uncle Fester from Adam's Family sitting down there in your digestive system. What I'm trying to say is, when you are accumulating this waste material within from chronic constipation, it's distending your colon, it's dilating, expanding it, trying to pack in this waste material over time. You're not going to do 1,000 crunches on top of this landfill and expect to see your six-pack abs. It's just physics at this point. But many people, they always think, oh, if I could just do a couple more sets, right? If I just diet the right way, if I take the right supplements, get the waste material out, then we can talk about all the other stuff. Now, when your elimination is incomplete, you're going to be dealing with many other problems, such as bloating, gas, abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, hemorrhoids, anal fissures from severe straining, impaction, discomfort and general malaise, urinary problems, psychological impact, changes in bowel habits. They have the audacity to sell you whole body deodorants in 2025. They've been selling for a couple of years now. Why are they selling you whole body deodorants? These underarm deodorants are no longer sufficient from Gillette, from Old Spice. Well, many people, they are dealing with chronic constipation. And that waste material, it is ganging up on them. And it doesn't matter if they use the best cologne, they could be using antibacterial laundry detergents. That smell is absolutely repulsive. There are people that you get around, their breath stinks. Even when they fart, they always do these silent farts, right? It clears out the whole coffee shop. You have to exit. It's almost like somebody threw a dead skunk in the middle of the coffee shop. That's what happens. And that could be you right now. That could be you. Some people, maybe they're wondering, how come nobody calls me? Well, how's your digestion? Are you going to the bathroom every single day? Or this is you. You are always trying to string on the toilet, trying to make something happen. You're chronically constipated. People are in this state, they're texting their prayer warriors. They're clenching their teeth, veins popping out the side of their temples. And some people, they just release a small little pebble. They think they made a lot of progress. I'm like, listen, all that waste material is still somewhere inside your body. Until you learn how to get rid of it, you're going to be in trouble. Now, today I'm just going to share with you the shopping list. And it's up to you guys if you want to invest in yourself to get my course. And this is a protocol that you mix together in the right proportions and you drink down over time. If you do it in the right proportions, you follow my directions to a T, it's very likely you will get fantastic results. Now, if you're not about following directions, you can swipe away to another video because you'll be surprised. There are people, they cannot follow directions for nothing. Upper right hand corner, this is a bottle of water. Has about 2 liters in volume. Over here, you have a metal mesh strainer. Over here, this is a single press squeezer for your limes, lemons, or grapefruit. Next, you're going to pick out some measuring spoons. Next, this is apple cider vinegar. Over here, you're going to buy some salt. You can choose between Himalayan pink salt, or you can use food grade Epsom salt. This is some type of salt. Now, if you're worried about the sodium content, you can use food grade Epsom salt because food grade Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate doesn't have sodium, but it tastes nasty. Next, you're going to get yourself stainless steel thermos. This has a volume over 1 liter. Upper left-hand corner, stainless steel straws. You're going to work this down, drink it down slowly over time. Because it's not going to taste great. So the stainless steel straws help you put this thing down. And then on the very left, you have a stainless steel cup for your black coffee. So what it's going to be is that if you follow through on my set of directions, there's going to be a link later on. You guys check out this video, but I'll also pop in the link. If you're on desktop, I think you guys can click on it. And that is going to give you access. If you decide to buy this program, I'm going to have all instructional videos ready for you so you know what to do every step of the way to mix it in the stainless steel thermos in the right proportions. There's so many small little details because I've been doing this for over half a decade. I've been doing this since 2019. I know how this is done. I've coached many people around the world how this is done. And if you want to get fantastic results, follow through on my set of directions. Because some people, they want to get lazy. They'll be like, listen, I have a glass pitcher in the kitchen. Why am I going to invest in myself with a stainless steel thermos, another cup, another stainless steel cup for black coffee? I have a mug up in my kitchen cupboard. No. You're going to blast out so much waste material. You're going to be knocking things over. You may be knocking your glass pitcher over. And now there's going to be a floor completely wet with the solution. You may slip and fall. Now you're going to slip on top of that glass. Now you're going to cut yourself. You're going to end up at the hospital. But you're still going to be doing this because you're going to create such a diarrhea tsunami you have never experienced before in your entire life. And people at the ER, they're going to be asking you questions like, what did you do? What did you do to yourself? And you say things like, oh, I listened to this guy on YouTube. Listen, you guys are on your own. You're all on your own. You're all adults. The reason why I told you guys to get these set of ingredients and also the tools is for your safety. You always have to consider liabilities, concerns way in advance before you do anything. And many people don't consider things like that. And I want to eliminate the mistakes, right? Just like, anyway, you guys know the analogy. Are you guys still with me? Somebody's on this call. It's been on here for a while. Where are you from? Is this presentation making sense for you? Anything you want me to go over in detail, let me know. Okay. I'll also teach you guys how you can recoat back up your small and large intestine probiotics and also electrolytes. The electrolytes are super important for your health. And you also want to begin eating very healthy foods moving forward. Because when you clear out your small and large intestines, you cannot go back into eating your trash foods. It's not an opportunity for you to say, oh, I'm just going to continue just to go back to my old ways. You're going to feel absolutely awful if you do that. I've already tried. So if you guys don't believe me, you can try it too. But all I can say is your health is your responsibility. Your health is your responsibility. Nobody can fix your health but you. Nobody can fix your health. No medication gonna turn your health around unless it's very, very rare special cases. And you gotta stay locked in on this information that's provided, talking about human physiology and look into different protocols that can clear out this pipework comprehensively, producing a laxative effect that cleans out both the small and large intestines. Once again, it's a very long piece of pipework, right? We're going to have to rinse out. Give yourself a fresh start. It's very likely, even right now, your small intestines has a lot of microplastics. It may be dealing with internal parasites. Internal parasites can be in the small and large intestines. We'll discuss more on that. And I'm going to take a short break and I'll come back. But put your questions in the live chat if you have any questions for me. All right, next we're going to talk about colon hydrotherapy. Colon hydrotherapy, it is a tool you want to be looking up. Let's just say you're severely chronically constipated and you may not be doing my protocol right away. You want to look into other modalities. There are many different detox modalities, detox protocols, and you have to evaluate them one by one. What colon hydrotherapy is, they're going to have you lay down on this apparatus, and from here, they're going to have you with your feet kicked up, relaxed. Next, they are inserting hot water in your rectum. They're going to insert hot water in your rectum to help you excavate this waste material out of your body. And some of you, you may have to go see your colon hydrotherapist, like ASAP. And this is not for everybody because, well, there's so many things that are involved. Let's just say you are so chronically constipated, and there's always liabilities, concerns you want to be aware of. Anytime you want to do anything, I don't care if it's detox, I don't care if it's a supplement, have you really mapped out the pros and cons? You know, based on where you are now, your body, your situation. Let me tell you what could go wrong if you do this colon hydrotherapy or colonic. Let's just say you are so backed up, your colon is completely compacted with fecal matter, but they are putting in this hot water too quick. Now you have a perforation or tear in the colon. What's that's going to happen is waste material is going to be in your abdomen and you're going to go into sepsis shock. That is a potential outcome. They can call it a sepsis shock or a toxic shock. Most people don't come back from that. And there is a risk, let's just say if you do my protocol, and if you're drinking the protocol too quick, it may cause you to throw up. I don't recommend doing that, so that's why I'm telling y'all, drink it nice and slow, right? But best believe if you do nothing for your chronic constipation, you will have many other problems. There are going to be many disturbing photos I'll be sharing with you. Over here, this is a picture of toxic megacolon. Somebody neglected their early chronic constipation, and now they have to do an operation and remove the colon completely. What did they remove? They're removing the green section right here. Large intestines. Ascending, transverse, descending. Notice how this thing right here looks a lot different than the picture that I showed earlier with somebody. Yeah, the Instagram page you guys want to be looking up. It's called physio-osteogram. Physio-osteogram. This one right here. The colon should only be about 3 inches in diameter. And if you are not taking good care of your digestive health, you neglect the early signs of chronic constipation, you're going to be dealing with a toxic megacolon. That's a life-threatening complication. Best believe this is more than just bloating and gas. This is about all the frozen pizzas, Haagen-Dazs, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell's. What else you got? Old Country Buffet, Kentucky Fried Chicken. What else we have? Chipotle's, burritos. What else we have? Chinese food, Korean barbecue. It's all in there. So you guys gotta fix your chronic constipation. That's what I'm saying. But how I got it done may be different than how you're gonna do it. But you gotta continue to learn. You gotta increase your teachability index, increase that willingness to learn, increase that willingness to accept change. And many people, they're coming down ulcerative colitis, inflammation in the colon. Different symptoms could be diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramping. In 1 week, they might be throwing down antibiotics. And if it stops working, you're still dealing with the symptom flare-ups. Now they're throwing down corticosteroids. Once again, I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional. Always seek the advice of your physician, other qualified health providers, any questions you may have. Subscribe to this channel if you guys find this to be helpful. Diverculitis, now you're dealing with irregular bulging pouches in the walls of the large intestines. Waste material not exiting. Waste material expanding your colon. Waste material pushing into different pockets of your large intestines, creating these irregular bulging pouches. Crohn's disease, now you're dealing with inflammation, not just in the large intestines, but also in the small intestines. At some point, you can't fix your chronic constipation. You can't fix all these symptom flare-ups. They're coming for you with their scalpels. They're going to be cutting you up. Maybe certain portions of your colon becomes completely deadened. They're going to have to remove it. Many people face this on the daily. Ask your friends in surgery. Ask your friends in surgery, working as professional surgeons, or people, they are installing this colostomy bag. This is an external bag. If they remove certain portions of the colon, well, you may be wondering how to use the bathroom moving forward. Well, they have so many ways. They're going to have to create a hole. It's called a stoma, and they attach an external bag. You have to manage this bag for the rest of your life. Once again, don't take my word for it. Go look this up for yourself. Go research this out. I'm just telling y'all, if you're not going to the bathroom every single day, and you continue to neglect the early signs of chronic constipation, you may be going down this path. Many people are. Young people are installed with a colostomy bag. It's not just for people who are in hospice and nursing home, senior care. No, young people can get this done. Next, we got right hemicolectomy. That's to say they're coming for your ascending portion of your colon. They remove it. Afterwards, they're using the remaining section of your small intestines and just plug and play. Ileoanal anastomosis. In this procedure, they already did a total colectomy. They removed the colon completely, but then they used the remaining section of your small intestines and they rerouted to around your anus, so you can continue to eliminate waste through your anus. Tortuous colon, you guys go look that up. Over here, waste material is not going out. Colon trying to distend, trying to expand, trying to dilate. At some point, it's going to become long and twisty. Just like a garden hose you've neglected in your backyard for a long time. It's got a whole bunch of kinks in it. You turn on the water. No water is going out. You don't see water coming out the other side. And that's what can happen to you, to your large intestines. And this is also another life-threatening complication. A midgut volvulus. There is some type of, I would say, waste material is not going out. Colon begins to twist itself. It may twist upon itself, or it may twist upon the small intestines. Or you may lose blood supply from these redundant or tortuous colon. When you lose blood supply, you know that could be a life-threatening complication. In addition, you may get a perforation or tear in the colon wall. Now, waste material can enter your abdomen, which is going to cause chronic inflammation, chronic infections across the board. These procedures are very expensive. If you're dealing with a total colectomy, expect to spend $20,000 to $75,000. Hemicolectomy, $12,000 to $20,000. Ileoanal anastomosis, $39,000 to $50,000. If you have to install that colostomy bag, you're going to be spending $3,000 to $7,000 on materials alone. Now I'm going to get into some parts of my presentation. You guys usually like to hear embarrassing stories. Well, I got a lot of those. Now let's talk about some embarrassing stories. So at some point, because of my severe straining, because I was chronically constipated, I was dealing with hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids, or you can call them piles, these are swollen veins. Could be internal or external, and very, very itchy. And at some point, you're going to be keying in on Google trying to fix this, and they're going to tell you to get preparation H. Do you guys have preparation H right now, or do you use preparation H? Well, that's what it's for. It's going to help you reduce some of these inflammation, get that inflammation to subside. Well, I was going down to the CVS picking this up, and it's going to offer you some relief in the short term, but unfortunately, you're still going to itch. So you're going to pick at it. Then when you pick at it, it's going to make them bleed. And then when it bleeds like that, it's going to be dealing with a lot of infections in the form of anal abscesses and fistulas. Now you're going to be lathering up the antibiotic creams on top of the preparation H. Or some people are developing anal fissures from severe straining. Or people are developing rectal prolapse from severe straining. Many elderly people in nursing homes, in senior care centers, that's what they have to deal with every single day. And they just strain on the toilet for such a long time, right? They don't fix their chronic constipation. So every day is a struggle. Get around elderly people, there's always a funky smell about them. Why? Because they're remnants of fecal matter staining the underwear. So when you get around them, it always smells like poop. It sucks. So instead of making fun of elderly people, I always tell people, hey, this could be you one day. And what are you doing now, right? If you were at the beginning of our presentation, we said, you got to stay teachable. What is your willingness to learn? And what is your willingness to accept change? If you cannot fix these colorectal problems, I don't care it's hemorrhoids, I don't care it's anal abscesses, fissures, or prolapses, you're going to be sent down to the proctologist. Proctologists, these are medical doctors, they're highly specialized, but they only focus on the colorectal problem. They're going to snap on their latex gloves, and they will examine you rectally with their fingers. And as becoming a little bit more nervous, they're going to open up their tools. They have a lot of tools for you, okay? How would you feel if you see this set of tools that they got for you fixing, I don't care if it's your hemorrhoids, your abscesses, fissures, prolapses, they come in for you. You think you're the only person they use these tools on? You think is 100% sanitary? So today we discuss and cover a lot of ground, right? Because earlier we're talking about weight loss, but there's so much more than that. You have to think about your digestive health instead of just thinking about, I got to do more crunches to reduce my belly fat. You got to consider a lot more. So do you guys have any questions for me before I move on? I'm going to go through these a little bit fast because I don't even know who's actually on here. So there are forums on the internet for chronic constipation relief. Many of them on Facebook. You guys can look them up yourself. Go read up all these struggles that other people have so you can learn to avoid them. You want to study other digestive problems way in advance so you can also avoid them. And you want to learn what those root causes are. And you also want to pick up another book on parasitology. There's so many parasites all over the world, not just in third world countries. There are in first world countries as well. I'll go through the slides another day. There are many documentaries online you guys can go look up. Just type in Animal Planet, liver flukes. That's the first one I want you guys to watch. Many of you like to eat undercooked meats or even eat raw steak, undercooked meats, or completely raw meats. You may be consuming a lot of internal parasites. Internal parasites are very real, but this information, once again, is occulted from you. You don't want to continue on this path without really doing some parasite testing, but this is my own personal take. Some parasite testing, they come back false negative. They want them to come back false negative. All right, so there are also single cell protozoan parasites. There are parasites that can grow to such an incredible size. You don't need a microscope to see them. And some of them, they're very, very small. They can target your red blood cells or other internal organs. There are many different herbal products, herbal blends on the market. You guys can go research that for yourself. Parasites can also go outside of your digestive system. They can target your brains, or they can go into your soft tissues. You also want to do some parasite testing for your pets. And when you continue to upgrade your health in this matter, you'll be able to unlock other organs over time. Maybe some of you be interested in learning about liver health and see how you can get the congestion out of your gallbladder and also liver. Because every last one of us, we're going down to different stages of liver damage. Many people, they get a gallbladder attack. Now they have to get their gallbladder removed. I'm just saying, listen, y'all, there are ways to flush out gallstones out of the gallbladder, but you have to stay locked in. You have to keep on reading books. You have to learn about liver, gallbladder, intrahepatic ducts, common bile duct. Common bile duct has so many responsibilities, right? So over here you can see that it's connected to not just the gallbladder, but it's also connected to your pancreatic ducts. And we're looking at the upper right quadrant. And many people, you don't lock in, you don't read books, you don't know anything. And even if the doctors put up a whole bunch of slides at the hospital, you don't know what you're looking at. And that's a very dangerous place to be in. And I want you guys to learn this for yourself. Work with a doctor, naturopathic doctor, find the winning combination. Because this is my little pet thesis right now. If you can fix your internal organs, you can normalize your blood viscosity. All these chronic diseases, what you see are the effects at the hospital, in the ICU. You will see jaundice, ascites, rheumatoid arthritis, bed sores, nail clubbing, edema, weeping edema. If you just fix your internal organs, first, I would say small, large intestines over time, flushing out internal parasites over time, flushing out congestions out of the gallbladder, also intrahepatic stones out of the liver over time, flushing out congestion in your kidneys, and also upgrading your spleen. It's very likely that your body will return to its former glory. That's what I've experienced so far, and I'm still in the game. So I want to continue to see what I can do to push the boundaries, because chronic diseases, aging, right? Doesn't happen by accident. But if you can reverse the stages of liver damage, if you can reverse the stages of kidney damage, don't you think your body's going to have an easier time filtering the blood? And if it has an easier time, you may have an easier time with your bladder and prostate as men. There's a lot. So let me know if you guys want me to go on, talk more about this. Let me know in the live chat. Otherwise, we're going to just stop this presentation because I don't see anybody saying anything in the live chat, right? So I'm like, do you guys want to listen to this? Yes, no. How long has this presentation been? I've been online for quite some time talking about this. So we have been almost 2 hours, right? 1 hour, 46 minutes. It's a long time. We first covered principles with self-development. Your wish is your command. I told y'all how you can get this program completely for free, the audios. And then I shared with you how I use information from your wish is your command to better my own personal health over time. So that's what happened the last almost 2 hours. Do you guys have any questions for me? Yeah, let me know in the live chat. Otherwise, I'm shutting this down. So what's going on, y'all? You guys have no questions? Why are you guys on here? I don't understand. No questions for me? What are you trying to achieve? What can I help you with? How can I serve? Right? Because it's very tough for me. I can't read y'all's minds. I don't know how to help y'all if you guys don't give me a little bit of feedback in the live chat. The live chat, you just type it on the bottom. Most of you are probably on your phones, right? So you just type it on the live chat. You can tell me, hey, this stuff makes sense, or I need more clarification on this other area, and I can go through, right? I also put in my link. You guys can consider getting some of my programs. Now, my programs, they're not priced at a lower price because I don't think they should be, because I price them at a lower price, give it out for free many times in the past. The problem is that people don't do anything with them. You can't treat your health journey like a hobby. You can go play frisbee golf once every 6 months, nobody cares. But when it comes to your health, you have to do something, from my humble perspective, on a detox side once a week. There are only 52 weeks in a year. I take every opportunity every single week to do something to better my personal health. It's not just about the exercise and about the eating right. I mean, that's got to be on lock already. If that's not on lock, forget about the other stuff. But some people, they treat it like a hobby. They think that I just have to do this once every couple of months. I'm telling y'all, the train moves way too quick. And this is not professional medical advice. I'm just saying most people, they just don't make it. And I'm not asking to be Michael Phelps either. Michael Phelps got to be in water 7 days a week, 365 days a year for half a decade. I'm not asking you to do that either. But what's it going to be? What is the frequency that you do? Some people, they are so messed up in their colon, they have to go see a colon hydrotherapist a couple days straight in a row just to get their colon in somewhat of a decent shape. And I don't know where your starting point is at. Maybe your practitioner is telling you there are detox retreats. Yeah, for those of you got some money, there are detox retreats you should look into. They're in Mexico, they're in Hawaii, they're in Argentina, I'm sure Costa Rica. And you can go to these detox retreats and you work with the practitioners there. And they do so many things. Some of them, depending on what you need, depending on how you're going to recover your health, right? Because everybody's path is a little bit different. And some people, they're so messed up, they have to do colon hydrotherapy, do this colonic every single day. Every single day. While on a liquid diet, but every single day they keep finding new material coming out of them. Well, anyway, I'm not seeing any comments. Thanks so much for watching this presentation. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon.